Hey all my crafty friends, we are back today with day 3 already of our part 3 now of Magnolia Design Co. Craft Club. So what we have done so far is we did the original Craft Club with the mason jar surface. I can't think today. And then we added a couple hearts for dimension. And then yesterday we inked a apron for my husband for Valentine's Day. And 5 times a charm. I did it again and it was perfect. And then I dripped water on it before it was dry. Yeah, so I did it, let's see, 2 more times and still had trouble with it. And I'm like, you know what? Today is just not a day to ink. And I hung it up, went upstairs, came down today, and boom. So once this dries 24 hours, it needs to be heat set. And you can either use a Cricut press, you can use a regular heat press, or you can use your iron. And really super easy, just putting a piece of parchment paper over it and then ironing each side for about 20 seconds. So that's pretty easy, but again, wait that 24 hours. You don't want this to be tacky. And actually mine's pretty dry, it's not tacky, but I'm not taking chances today. So I'm just gonna set that aside. I have to fill up this with everything in between because Briggs, my cat, is having a heyday with these aprons. And so, yesterday I was feeling really mischievous, and as I looked at this today, I thought, oh, you know what else besides the glitter? I'm gonna put hearts on the pocket. But I'm gonna wait to make sure that, I don't know, I'll probably ruin it again. Anyway, I'll set those aside here. And today, I told you we're going to do something that I've never done. And that is a stuffy. Oh my, somebody must be at the door because Tilly's barking, so excuse my dogs. Everything is stranger danger. They have to protect me. So anyway, stuffies. We have a creator that I think I'm just going to call her the Stuffy Queen. I've seen her work and what she's done, and I think they're really cute. And I thought, oh gosh, those just aren't me. I can't do this. And then I saw what she did with Craft Club. And I thought, okay, jump in. Now is the time to try this. I have the feeling you're going to love it. So I don't know what other creators use when they're painting fabric, but I like to use what's called duck cloth, and so it's a little bit tighter weave than you have. It's really lightweight, and it actually comes in several different colors. And I've used it before in other projects that Kirk and I have done with reupholstering some furniture for outdoors. And believe it or not, I did some other research, and you know what? This is what they used as fabric for sailor outfits back in the day. I don't know that they still do that. We've come a long way with technology and fabrics, but I thought that was pretty cool. And so that's what I learned new about that. Otherwise, you can use just, oh, excuse me. You can actually use any type of canvas, cloth, whatever you'd like to do. But like I said, I like this duck, and it is duck, like a duck, quack, quack. Not duct, like duct tape. Although there is a brand name, duct tape, but we're not going to go there. So I've got my duck cloth. I've got my stencil, and again, this is January Craft Club, and you have to be a member of Craft Club to be able to get this exclusive stencil. Then what I did was I tried a new paint, and I was going to say it's a J.C. Penney. Okay, never mind. It's not J.C. Penney's. I promise you. It's a Joanne brand, and it's called Top Notch. And so I picked up metallic, and then I picked up their red and pink. And I wasn't quite sure how I was going to like these, but I do. I really like them. And yes, Waverly has a metallic and they have red. Their pink is more of a ballet pink, so it's got kind of a grayish tone. I'm not a big fan of it. Have I used it? Will I continue to use it? Yes, but it would not be my go-to paint at all. And actually, I ended up getting, I think they were 3 or 4 for $1. I bought multiples, but they were only $3 or $4. $3 or $4. $1 for 3 or 4. Oh my gosh, I need to get my brain back. Today, we're also going to use my ink mat. Now, you don't have to use this, but my thought was this is such a small piece of fabric. And again, I don't want it to move, so I decided that I'm going to put it down on here, and I'm really making sure that it's down on my ink mat. And then, let's see. Oh, when I'm painting, I use artist brushes. You can usually get them at Joann's. They come in a pack very similar to this, but since I have so many painting projects going at one time, and I really like this size, I bought a 3-pack of these off of Amazon. And what I like is it's got the shorter stick to it, and that's because I remember painting with tempera paint in elementary school, and our paintbrushes were like this long. And to me, I could never. Okay, I'm not an artist, so to me it was just it was hard for me to control it, but that's me. So what I did was I took the original. I'm going to grab that again. I took this board and I traced it. And you'll notice that it kind of goes in a couple times. And I thought, you know, that's going to be a problem for me. And so I just kind of squared it up, rounded it up, whatever. And so you can see my shape isn't the exact same up at that top. But I like this for this, but in tracing it, no way, went with this. So what else do I have? Oh, I have my hot glue gun. I have my heat gun. I have some polyfill. And I have baker's twine. And I noticed something today. I usually buy my baker's twine on a roll, not on, you know, just like a ribbon. And this is actually thicker. It does fray a little bit easier, but I'm okay with that because I'm gluing it into the inside. So I'm not too worried about that. So let's get started. We've got this on here. This is going to be the back of it. And then we're going to take our stencil. My very well used stencil. Now let's see, we have 1, 2, I've used it 7 times. This will be the 8th. You know, that my ink pad really, will you stop? It just wants to stick to me. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know what, with this, centering it is pretty easy. And I want to make sure this is down because yesterday, remember when I thought it was down flat and it wasn't, and it crackled. So I'm just going to go over, I hear crackling. I'm going to go over it with the back of my squeegee. What is with this? I don't want it to move. There we go. So I'm going to use Brilliant White, which is a color I use a lot. White and black. But I have to do some things for you that I use more color. Because, yeah, you're going to think those are the only two colors there are that I have. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put my chalk paste on. I'm going to bring that down. And you know, chalk paste, there's not one way to put your chalk paste on. You just want to make sure everything is covered and that you get your excess off. And again, I think that the sample pack that you get, you could do the original and at least these two, if not a third one, using your chalk paste sample. It goes a long way. It's just one of those things, you know, a little goes a long way. Sometimes you have to remind teenage girls that a little goes a long way when it comes to their makeup. Of course, then there's me who just doesn't wear it, but there's a long, silly high school story that goes behind that, and no, I'm not going to share because it's just silly high school stuff, and just so got that done. Nothing here, and I'm going to very slowly pull this down. You know what? I think there's something on my stencil. Nope. It went just fine. What I didn't tell you I'm going to set that aside. What I didn't tell you ahead of time is that I painted this, and what I did is I'm beginning to see why I don't care for long hair. Anyway, I'm going to let this dry a little bit. And so what I did was I painted it. And between each coat, I used where'd it go? My grocery bag that I sanded out. And you're sanding lightly. If you sand it like really, really hard, like you would a piece of wood, not a good idea because you're going to take off layers of your paint. But I did that in between each layer, and then I did the final one. And just to be sure with these, I did 3 coats of paint. I normally don't, but this was the first time I was using it. It was the first time that I was using it on duck cloth, and I just wanted to be extra sure. So, oh, excuse me. I am going to take this off. And now I'll show you the other one that I practiced. Didn't want to have a disaster. No, actually, here's the deal. So my background is home economics. If you're around my age, you know what home economics is. If you are in your 30s, maybe even early 40s, it's family and consumer science. So that's my background. And so as teachers, we were always taught, don't ever do a project without doing it first. And no, I didn't teach sewing. Sewing, not my forte and not my best thing ever. Normally with this kind of thing, I would have sewn it. And I decided, you know what, people glue things all the time. I'm going to glue it. So that's what I did with that. But even having things laid out, I had to take a communications class for home economics teachers, and we had to learn how to demonstrate. And, you know, it's great. You have everything together. And normally I just make sure I have my stuff quick and I get on. And I thought, you know what, I've been so flighty lately, and I'm not going to do that because you know what, I'm going to end up forgetting something. So now here I am, and I'm laying out everything and making sure that I tell you all the things that I have. So I actually feel like I'm back at school, in my class in college, yeah. So anyway, just to be sure, oh, come on, what are you stuck on? Okay, I'm going to take my dry. And remember, I use a heat gun, but you can use a hair dryer. I just want to make sure this is dry. So this one I did the pattern. What I did was I painted and then turned it over, and I had a big piece of, excuse me, I guess I need water. I looked over at my space heater. It was 86 in here. Minnesota can be cold and basements can be cold, but it didn't need to be 86. So I turned it way down into the 70s. But anyway, I painted this out on a larger cloth, and because what I did was I painted red, because this is what it's going to look like when we're done. That's a stuffy. In case you don't know, that's a stuffy. And then I thought, you know what? If I try to copy this to this, it's not going to be good, because really, if you look close at this one and this one, they're not the same. So I decided it's kind of worth a little bit of waste by going ahead, and I'm going to glue this right on here, and then I'll cut it. What I did was I took my baker's twine and I pre-cut that, but this end has a knot on it that I'm going to have to cut scissors so that I can do this. But what I'm going to do before we ever start is I'm actually going to glue. I'm going to put some hot glue over this. I'm actually going to do it more up here. Put hot glue over that, and I'm going to also put it over this one. We'll see how many times I burn my fingers today. It's kind of been my day to do that. Let's see. Okay, so now it'll stay hot and it won't cool off as fast as I normally want it to. Yep, I'm going to have to let that dry. I'm going to have a mess. Okay, so we're going to have to let it get hot. This is my little hot pad for my fingers. They came in a set. I think it might have even been 10. I don't know. And I have one left. So not good. But anyway, we're going to let that sit there for a second. Pull that off. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, that's still sticking to my finger. But okay, so we're gonna flip this over, and I'm actually going to do closer. I think I'm going to go over a little bit to the side. I'm thinking hearts. I like to use the scraps. Oh, maybe I can do some little hearts. Okay, so one section at a time, I'm going to go through and I'm going to use my hot glue, and I'm going to leave the bottom open. This one I didn't. I left it about a hand wide, and I wasn't happy with it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to very quickly, and I'm going close to the edge. Now here's the deal. If you go close to the edge, there is a chance that when you place it down, it's going to seep out. I don't know if you know this or not, but hot glue, oh my goodness, Lynn, hot glue is like super easy to cut off your edges if that happens. Okay, I'm going to put this down, so of our top, and you know, I'm going to warn you, mine is a low heat gun, and even going across this, and my fingers obviously are protected by the cloth, but it's hot. It's really hot. Okay, this did seep out a little bit. I'm actually going to lighten that up a little bit there. And then I'm just going to take my heat gun, glue gun, heat gun, glue gun. Oh my goodness, they're all the same. And I'm going to go as close to this edge, oh, come on, as I possibly can. And I'm just going to do small areas at a time so that my glue doesn't dry more quickly than I want it. And again, I'm going to take my time, and part of that is because I'm a messy crafter, and when I don't take my time because I'm like so excited, which today is my I'm so enthusiastic day. Did you know that they don't have an emoji for enthusiastic? Can't believe it. You know when it asks you how you're feeling, there's no enthusiastic. Kind of bummed me out. But anyway, I'm just going to go slow just to make sure that I'm not undoing pieces that I want to have done, because that's when my mistakes come. So I am going to work slower today. And so again, and I'm just doing that, not that I'm I'm a recovering perfectionist. In my retirement, I'm trying to not try to be as perfect with all my little projects and things, and the struggle is real, just saying. It's, when you've been a perfectionist, it's you know, it's done, move on. Just, it's hard for me. It's really hard for me to say, oh, but I made this one little mistake and I've got to fix it. It's ruined. I don't like it. And wow, perfectionism. I guess it runs deep. I think it came from my dad. Not that my mom wasn't any kind of perfectionist. She was pretty too, but my dad, I have never seen, I don't know if you remember when teachers used to write grades in a grade book, but my dad did, and every number was absolutely perfect. It was legible, and if he made a mistake and he erased it, you never, ever would have known. And I'm just like, I was never that much of a perfectionist, but I have the feeling that came from my grandmother. My dad got awards for good penmanship. Yeah, so he could handwrite. But you know what? He printed. He printed more than anything. But he did have a beautiful signature, so that was good. Ooh, ouch, ouch. Did you see that one? that hurt. Ah. And so, this is stupid, but my thing today is that I can legibly handwrite, and so my signatures are never a scribble. And my husband just, but his is easy. I can scribble his like no other, but he can't write the way I do. So even on the little machines now where you're signing, I'm really slow and I do it perfect. My husband just stands there like, oh my gosh, you might as well have written a check. Okay, so I believe I have this all down here. And I do have a couple spots that did leak out. So I'm just going to take this and start cutting. And go right up this, and yes, I'm using my Magnolia scissors that I used the other day to cut wire. And I'm cutting fabric. That's what I like about these scissors. I don't have to say, don't ever cut with my sewing scissors. But I do have sewing scissors, and I do say that. And you'll never guess who's the most infamous in my house for taking my sewing scissors, not putting them back, and then using them for paper. Oh, that would be Kirk, but you know, he's more about, well, scissors are scissors kind of guy, which is fine. That is his deal. You know what, Lynn? Cheaters help. I wear my cheaters on my head all the time, also because I've never worn glasses and I don't like them. But then I forget that I have them on my head, and there are times that I've actually had 2 or 3 pairs of scissors on top of my head. Yeah, crazy lady. But that's okay. So I'm just going to cut down around this, and thankfully my stenciling. Now, normally what I would do, I'm going to cheat on it a little bit today. Normally what I would do is I would go out because I'm using chalk paste, I mean, if you want to use ink, you can, but you don't have to. Oops, I got one little spot there. So I'm going to just do a really light clear coat on here. Not the way I need to if I really want a sign or something to stay permanent and not get scratched easily, but it is, oh, you know what, I'm so glad I did it this way. This is so much easier than trying to cut it out. I don't know if you know this. Fun fact about painting fabric. Did you know that the fabric that you paint shrinks? So if you ever decide to paint your couch, just remember your cushions may not fit right back in the way that they did. Okay, here's my nervous part because I'm coming up to that area where I've got my baker's twine. Okay, I'm going to flip this forward and cross my fingers. Now on the top here, you know what, I can make little fixes if I need to. On the top here, this is where, did you catch that? This is where the glue seeped out a little bit more. And it's a little bit tougher to cut, and my scissors are sticking a little bit to it, but I'm gonna make it through. And again, I think I'm just gonna try to, oh, that's harder to do when there's glue there. Okay, Lynn, let's not. Oh, my goodness. This is, okay, got it, yay. All right, and then I'm going to try that again, trying to get this without cutting my hanger. I'm going to have to work on that a little bit more because I can see I have more to do on this side, but I'm not going to take too much time now to do that. Okay, so we've got that done, and our glue is dry. So I'm going to take my polyfill. And I'm also going to have my handy dandy, yes, wooden ruler, and it even has a little metal edge. Oh, kind of, sort of. And on the back, no, it was the front. On the back right here, it says Kirk Nelson. So, yeah, we went to school in the days that we had wooden rulers, but you know what, actually I prefer. Of course, we weren't hitting one another with our rulers. Okay, I'm just taking a little bit and I'm going to stuff it in here. And I'm going to stuff a lot right here in the middle. And then I'm going to use my ruler to get it way up to the top. Because if I'm afraid of, oh, see, I did it better this time. I can't get my hand up. I popped out there, but that's okay. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait until we're done. I am gonna need to get this a little bit further than I have it, but I want to make sure that I have a lot up here, so I get up to my upper corners here and then into the top of the jar. Ooh, that was really a pop. Okay, I must have gone really light there on my stuffing. Okay, so I've got some stuffing in here. I'm going to take my ruler, and yes, there's a chance that I would punch my ruler right through. I put my hot glue gun in the wrong, oh, I melted my other hot glue. Yep, I'm seeing another place that it's popping now that I'm putting this in here, but that's okay. We're gonna fix it. So I want to make sure that I get stuffing my polyfill up into those areas so I don't have a flat cover. I'm going to have a couple areas here on this left side. I think I need my hand for this to try to get that up in there to fix. Now I haven't pushed as much on that other side, but I have the feeling I may have a couple little pops, and it's either that my glue dried or I went so close to the edge that it just didn't hold. Which, like I said, easy fix, super easy fix. So that's always That's always a fun one. Now, normally I would have clear coated this before. I'm going to try to put a light clear coat on this after I have it stuffed. I'm not sure how we're going to do with that. Yep, I have a little, no, I don't have a blue out there. Okay, it's just the left side. So get that up in there. Come on. Okay, so before I glue my edge at the bottom, I am going to go up here and I'm just going to stick a little bit of glue in there and a little bit to the glasses. You know, I have about 20 Dollar Tree. Oh, that's hot. I have about 20 Dollar Tree pairs of cheaters. Can I ever find glasses? No. And Kirk is just as bad, so if he tells me it's because I'm old, which he thinks is funny. I'm 3 years older than my husband, so I'm old. So I'm just going to take just a little bit of this and try to pull that off a little bit. There we go. Okay. I'm feeling like I need a little bit more stuffing in here, especially on this side along here. So I'm just going to take all of this and get that in there. Let's see how we're doing. Ooh, there's one area right here it's causing it to crease just a little bit more than I like it. Did I pop it up? Oh, I didn't. I'm impressed with myself. Okay. Let's see, how do I want to do this? You know, I'm gonna grab my polyfilm. It's my polyfilm, and just put a little bit on it. So the paintbrushes I bought on Amazon, but you can get them at Joann's. You can probably get them at Michael's as well. And like I said, I just use the artist brushes mostly because the handles are short. When I put my glue down, I didn't put it, I have this handy dandy little. Went to Menards, 11 cents, got a tile, and that's where I set my glue gun when I'm using it and it's hot, so it doesn't melt onto anything else. Okay, how are we doing here, Lynn? Okay, we are there. But anyway, when I set it down, I didn't put it there, and I set it on top of my other glue stick, which, oh, who knows why. Okay, I think I'm going to go to my painted side. I'm going to get glue out of here. I'm right at the end of that glue stick. Okay, I may have to get my other. And again, be careful, even with the low heat. This is hot. Oh, I'm so tired of burning my fingers. Anyone else like that? It's like you have no fingerprints anymore because you burned your fingers so many times on hot glue. Okay. Let's see. We'll just go this way. I'm going to put that other end in. Push some of that out. Okay. And then I should be able to get the last edge. This just feels like it's not coming out, but it is. Oh, I couldn't see that really well, and oh boy, did I. Yeah, I went in a little happy glue there. That wasn't good. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Come on. Oh, you're killing me. Owie, owie, owie. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Just don't tell Kirk if I get hot glue on his ancient ruler here. I'm going beyond vintage. I'm going to ancient because he teased me about my age all the time. And I'm going to do that again. And then once this cools, I had some cotton that I pulled out with that, and then I'm just gently, gently clipping off. And yes, my hot glue is still sticky, so I'm going to have to go and clean my scissors. But, so here's what happens. Oh, Lynn, you went way glue crazy. The one thing I like about hot glue is that you can peel it off. And I'm actually going to cut across here again because I made a mess. So there we have it. We have our stuffies. Now, if you want to use twine or you want to do any other kind of embellishing on here, I know chalk markers, you can do all kinds of squiggly lines and dots and things. I think if I were to do that, I would do it ahead of time. I'm not, I like squiggles and dots, and I really am a squiggly dot kind of person. I just wouldn't go ahead and do it. And I think on these stuffies, I prefer not to have it. But I don't know. I think the next one I do, I think I'll go ahead and I will try to squiggle it up a little bit. But anyway, we did, again, red and pink. And I used the metallic paint, Top Notch from Joann's, red and pink. And then, of course, our stencil from Craft Club. So I promise you, part 3 is it. My next lives, we are not going to do Craft Club, even though I have 100 other ideas in there. And we'll go from there. So, time to say goodbye and happy crafting. I'll see you tomorrow at 3. See you later.